Haha! You are correct. I was too busy fiddling around with Kerbal to realize that my mic was still muted there. Normally I unmute it before I start, but Kerbal was giving me a little bit of trouble getting it streaming here, so I was distracted. So yes, Kerbals tonight. Kerbals have been requested, so here we are. There will be disaster, I am sure. I've never played this before. Like, literally never touched it. I haven't even hit start game yet, so I literally have no idea what I'm getting into. So, yeah, let's do that. You are correct. It's not like it's rocket science at all. Let's see if I can get Blade to join in, because Blade's been the one wanting this. What an interesting song. I need to turn that down just a hair. And let me check my channel preferences. Because Pretzel just recently added a new station for pop music. And I'm not entirely sure I want pop music on here. But I do have my setting on for no vocals, so that should cut out any of the really, really wonky pop music. Pop music without vocals is basically electronic anyway, so we're good. Alright, how do I Kerbal? Let us start the game and count the ways. Resume saved. There ain't no save to resume. Training! Yes, training. This tutorial, presented by a famous rocket scientist, Werner von Kerman himself, covers the basics of rocket construction and the vehicle assembly building. Alright. Oh, that's interesting. I was just checking to make sure OBS is still working, and indeed it is not. That is the weirdest graphical glitch I have ever seen. On my screen, lovely drab green grass surrounds the buildings, but on OBS I see all black. Phage, you seeing that as well? I wonder if there's a visual setting for that somewhere. Black grass confirmed. Interesting. Because that kind of screams back to the issue that I had been having getting OBS to work in the first place. It would not display Kerbal after the loading screen. Like, the loading screen would work fine, but the moment it loaded into the main menu, black. After a lot of fiddling, I managed to figure out that it was Steam launching the game in big picture mode because my controller was plugged in. And that was stopping the game capture from working. It was the weirdest thing. I'd never found any references to it online. This is purely me fiddling with it for the last hour or so. And ultimately I got it to work just by unplugging my controller and letting Steam launch the game without big picture mode. Well, I thought everything was fine until I started the game, and suddenly we've got black grass. So there's still some other visual hook that's not working in OBS. I can probably fix that if I switch this to display capture mode, but I absolutely hate display capture mode because I don't want people seeing everything on my screen. For example, right here, mouse, there we go, right here, I have my, chat overlay, which is only visible to me intentionally because it overlays private messages to me as well as some other things. So I didn't really want to display that, but I still want to have my chat right here. It's like right in line with the camera, so I can look, you know, at the camera when talking to people, because that seems to be something that should be done. But let's check out display capture quick and see if that works. So turn off the Kerbal capture, turn on the display capture, and what do you know? We've got green grass. So, for right now, I'm not going to concern myself with it, but I do need to do some more looking to figure out what might be going on with that. It might be something that's just OBS that can't be fixed. We'll see. But for right now, display capture is fine. I do need to turn off my additional chat overlay, because I had my chat overlay here, but I also had a separate chat overlay in OBS to display to everyone else for stuff and reasons, so that people can actually see the chat that's going on the screen. So, let me turn that off though, which is, where are you, extra chat? Oh, haha. I still have it turned off from my previous testing. So yes, already done. Alright, so back to the Kerbals. Also, this chat overlay may need to move based on where the UI is doing stuff. Alright, welcome to today's lecture on vessel construction. I am Werner von Kerbal. Whether you want to put a satellite into orbit, make a transcontinental flight, or step onto the very surface of the Mun, you are going to need to build yourself a ship. It should be pretty easy, even if you're not a famous rocket scientist like myself. So says you. It's gonna give me flashbacks to Minecraft villagers. Alright. First show me the Kerbal Space Center, vehicle assembly building, blah-de-blah-de-blah. He is going to lock out control, so I don't do anything too stupid. Manage your space program, create rockets. Oh, create rockets and planes. I thought that said create rockets and planets. I'm like, whoa, that's a little bit too advanced for my first step here. Track your explorers as they roam around the solar system. Alright. Hover mouse over facilities. This is the VAB, the Vehicle Assembly Building, where we are building our vehicles, go figure. Tracking station, where I'm assuming we track things. R&D, astronaut complex, admin building, spaceplane hangar, and over here we have our launchy pad. Ah, mission control right here. Perfect. I don't know what that little black dot is, but alright. Okay, middle mouse to move around. That's probably going to mess with me, but we'll see. Alright. When I'm ready, go into the VAB. We are going into the VAB. Alright, so I have no controls yet. Chat is going to be in the way. Let's put chat here. That'll do. My head is also in the way, but that's not quite as easy to move, so we'll see how in the way my head is. I've been told my head gets in the way a lot, so who knows? Alright. My other concern is with the desktop mode is if anything pops up on my screen. I have no control over anything that pops up on my screen. Just putting that out there. So if some random obnoxious message pops up, so be it. Alright, parts toolbox on the left. Command module. Go figure. I mean, yeah, if you want. Command module. Hooray, we have a command module. Okay, so this is camera control. This is in, out, a little bit weird. Oh, that's up, down. That's even more weird. Okay, that's gonna take some getting used to. All right, I did install one mod, the Kerbal Engineer Redux, or Redo, depending on how you want to pronounce that. Supposedly gives you stats on your rocket. I don't know how to read any of it yet, but we'll see. Alright. Once at least one part is placed, you can look around. Okay, orbit is arrow keys or right mouse button drag. Okay. Mouse scroll wheels up, down. And then zoom the camera is shift mouse scroll wheel, or you can also do middle click hold and then arrow up, down. Okay. Yada yada yada. Got it. Oh, they have to be able to return safely. What? Alright, fine. Alright. Utility. Parachute. Clicky draggy parachute. Right there. Okay. And yes, that chat looks just as funky for me. Move you down just a hair. I'm sure that's not going to matter soon, but we'll see. Okay. Right-click on parachute for option. Okay. Adjust the altitude and the atmosphere pressure to which it will open. Okay, opening height at least 1,000 meters, which it is. A little bit to the right. We want 0.2. Okay, can do that. Got it. We need something to make us go. So engines it is. Meh. Ooh. It's going all over the place. So we need to clicky. Aha, okay. Got it. Controls are a little bit weird, but I know that 3D spatial controls can be a little bit sketchy on a 2D surface. One of these days we'll get full VR control of these things. I mean, we already kind of have it, but not in this game specifically. Let's see, we've got engine. Oh, I see what it is. He's mocking me for my skills. Solid rocket is too powerful for the payload. All right. Okay, pick up the back thumper and drop it over here to get rid of it. Alright, so this is the flea motor. Okay. Aha! Alright, you have built the simplest survivable craft possible. bottom right staging all the way down here. Okay. Aha. So this is showing me that if I currently leave it as is, when I hit 0, I will be launching both the rocket and the parachute at the same time. That seems like a bad idea. I mean, kind of amusing, but bad idea. Alright, so we hit plus. And then let's drag the parachute to 1. Make sure my numlock is on so I can actually press that button. Alright. Oh, okay. So it's the opposite of what I wanted. Parachute, and then rocket. There we go. So it's not me pushing buttons, it's doing its own thing? Oh, I can't even... He just told me. He told me before that if I hit the back button, I'll be able to go back a step and see what he said. But no, the back button is not even activated. Okay, fine. Relatively safe craft ready to go. Untitled spacecraft. Where is that? Up here. Also, this is in the way of some things. Interesting. Compact? Uncompact. Okay. Untitled spacecraft. There. Much snazzier name. Alright, so hit the save icon in the upper right. So we have left. Okay. Basic flight. I don't know what that is. Welcome to the launch facility. I'm Gene Carmen, and I will teach you the basics of piloting a spacecraft. So is this his, like, son or distant cousin or something? Or are they just all called Carmen? Alright. I am pressing next. All of them are called Carmen. Okay. But it's like a surname. So that would be like if I were called Human as my last name. So I would be Twin Herman, or Twin Human, or Herman maybe, because that sounds a little bit better. Civil, hey, how you doing? We has the Kerbals. They're all going to die, I'm sure. Alright, so we have W and S are pitching, Andy are yawing, and then Q and E are rolling. Okay. Oh god, we're all gonna die. Kerbals are indestructible. What? I mean, good to know. Throttle plus pitch. Where's my throttle? Do I not have a throttle? I mean, they look like it. Shift is throttle. Okay. So what's shift down? Ah, control is down, shift is up. Okay. Got it. We'll skip over the throttle controls for now, as this vessel has no need for it. Space starts the sequence as soon as they let me, so I'm still tutorialing right now. Okay, so space is launch and activate next stage, so I just spam space to get through my stages. Oh, okay. I didn't know they were homages to real NASA figures, but that makes sense. Okay. You can edit your stages on the fly. Oh, that's handy. The nav ball. This device sums up the most of the critical information you need for proper, death-free flight. See? He says that they could die. Okay. Top center is the altimeter. Okay. Atmosphere. Okay. Good to know. That's a lot of different colored icons for whether or not the parachute's going to work properly. Alright. The left three are safety. And this is staging. So red and red is bad. Got it. Really? I haven't heard them make any more than like villager-style grunting noises, so I wasn't quite sure. Apparently I'm anywhere from 1 second to 9 minutes for the apoapsis. Sure. Sure, why not? It's just kind of spastically numbering itself up there. Enough talk. Ready to launch. Go, little bastard, go! I'm just gonna make sure he's sick. Look at that little guy go. He's all sorts of dizzy up there. Alright, we are 11,000 meters in climbing, and now getting excessively sick. Oh, that poor guy. Alright, we're gonna stop rotating that now. Oh, that poor sick fella. I am frankly surprised that the ship is still intact, because if you look, there's quite a bit of separation between the engine and the capsule. Hooray! Parachute has saved this man from being violently ill. Or more so than usual. But he will not save him from me making him more violently ill. Okay, fine. I'll be nice. It's interesting that it's not parachuting. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Nose up. Now, they did not tell me how we speed things up so that it doesn't take forever. It's not plus or minus. I'm looking around, but I'm not seeing any time dilation options. Well, it didn't rip the parachute off, so... Ah, it was hiding. Cannot warp time in this scenario. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, the near forever landing sequence. He looks like a happy little bugger, though. She, Valentina. I'm sorry, little Kerman. I did not recognize your gender offhand. Sorry. Hooray, we're done. Alright, end scenario. So I have done the first 2 basic tutorials. And that's probably all I care to do at the moment. Because I'm pretty sure I don't need to worry about how to get to the moon right now. Because that's not going to happen. So let's start a new campaign. Career, save name. Twin Tech 1.0. I can't sandbox it. I don't even know what I'm doing. I would rather have at least a little bit of career to kind of point me in the right direction. Because, you know, it might say something like, hey, you need to, like, start small and not explode on the surface of Mars at the bit. Yeah, progression seems like ideal. But I've never played the game before, at all, whatsoever. So, open sandboxing requires having at least some concept of what to do. So, easy, medium, normal, easy, feck it. Normal's fine. My camera has rotated ever so slightly. There we go. Oh, and of course, my chat is directly over the welcoming message. There we are. Gene Kerman, Flight Director, and your guide for this quick introduction. This is the Space Center. From here you can manage all aspects of the space program. Feel free to have a look around and do this thing, or do this thing. That's a really slow arrow moving thing. I'm assuming 132 is hours. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. Alright, right click over the Space Center. I didn't think I would need to move that camera, but middle click is a little bit easier to work with. What is this thing over here? Like, There's a random black thing over here. And I can't move over to it anyway, so never mind. Fine, be a mysterious black thing. Be that way. Alright. Thanks. Thanks, Mr. Gene. Alright. That requires knowing how to fly a ship to it without exploding horribly. We'll see. We'll see if I can manage that. Alright. Gather scientific data from Carbon. Launch our first vessel. That sounds like two things I could do at the same time, potentially. I mean, technically, first ship being a plane sounds like the right answer. Figure out how to fly on your own planet first before going to another planet. But, Alright, so, how... recover or transmit any science experiment data from Kerbal to achieve this goal. Okay. And launch first vessel. Okay. Well, I have to launch my first vessel, because that pretty much has to happen. I will figure out how to do atmospheric data at some point. Good to know. Good to know. I will avoid planes for right now. But yes, I have actually seen some playthrough of Kerbal, so I'm not entirely blind, but yes, I have not actually played it myself, so... Administration says that legally we cannot call ourselves a space program without actually going to space, so I'm sure that is an important milestone. I mean, I can accept these. And there's no, like, timeout on these. But apparently I can only have 2 active missions at once, so got it. That's a lot of cannon fodder. Alright. Whoa. Come back, camera. Come back. Are you focused? Focus. There we go. Alright, what else do we need? I don't need research and development right now. That's just silly. Is there a... So these are available. Is there anything I have to do to acquire them? So these are my 4 active Kerbals. And I could have one more. Is there anything in acquiring new? Like, do I just click it and say, gimme? Replace them. I am sure I will have to replace them later. Alright, I'm not going to worry about that because my next hire, I just noticed at the top, is 65.5 thousand Kerbal bucks I'm going to go with. So let's not spend money on people I don't need. The first people haven't died yet. Tracking stations. I suspected that, but I wasn't quite sure. Alright, so let's build a thing. Let's build a thing. Oh, Werner, we talk again. You've already told me how to do things. Alright, so let's start with the command pod. And let's get parachute in place. Because, you know, we need to. Engines. The flea is all I've got. So it looks like I'm just building the basics again. Now, is there anything that I have as far as research, and how do I do research? Mystery goo! Containment unit! I want mystery goo. So if I get the mystery goo containment unit, I could bring that up as a science experiment. Okay. I doubt that is the related to the mission though, because I need just atmospheric information. What am I looking for? Okay, so let's jump that up to 2 again, just to stick with the tutorial information. Oh, okay. So when I'm flying, right-click on the thing, and there will be some sort of sciencey option. Okay. So let's do mystery goo containment unit. I'll strap the mystery goo to the hood and see what happens. Mystery goo! Anything else I've got? Not much. So all I really have is Mystery Goo Science. Mystery Goo Science Theater 3000. Flight and engineering systems. I don't need those. That's crazy talk. Fuel tanks. I don't need fuel. That's nuts. Alright, so I don't have much else. Structural. Modular girder segment. I don't need no girders. Alright. Mystery Science Goo 3000. Do I really need balance? I suppose I could do 2 mystery goos. So what's the option? I know that there's an option to duplicate a thing and have it exactly opposite. Is it control? Is it shift? No. So I could do 3 goos. So is there a way to do, like, to replicate the mystery goo container and have it exactly symmetrical on the rest of it? That's fine. I'm fine with 1 science. That's more than I have now. I have 0 science now. Oh, that's 0.1. But still. The X key. Okay. Haha! Okay. I don't need 4 of them. But, you know, screw it. So R is 2. Got it. C does nothing. R, mirror, radial. Okay. So radial symmetry is good. But is there no way to do tri-radial? Because, I mean, I can see on the nose cone where the 3 points are that I could potentially manually line it up with, but I doubt my manually lining would be very good. Mirror, radial. Those are the only 2 options I have. If I do X... Haha! X has 3. So X cycles through the quantity of symmetrical. Okay, got it. I get it now. So we now have Trigoo. And that lines up with MSG 3000. Button by the money. There's money? Haha, there is money. Center of mass over... Oh, center of mass overlay. Fair enough. Center of thrust overlay. Fair enough. Aerodynamics overlay. Looks decent enough. Circle symmetry count. Got it. I am learning things. Alright, so save that. Fuck it. Launch it. Do it live. That's right. I can stage out here, right? Yeah, I can stage out here. Okay. Something just blew up. Okay, so how do I science? Okay, so they did tell me I have to do a crew report when out. Other way around. You are right. So crew report out in space. Right click on... Do I have to right click on each one to observe the mystery goo separately? Or can they be observed all at the same time? I mean, I guess I could do them all separately. Alright. And then this is ready. This is ready. Nice. Do all my science as a mod. Got it. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. To space, Gemini Kermit. To semi-space. To that direction. Do the go. I'm gonna do a goo right here. We are observing the goo. That button. Let's do that button. Yeah, that button. Okay. That button. Observe the goo. Right click. Send. Send. Crew report. Send. Oh dear. I can keep this one. Okay. And you are parachuting. Hey, I'm allowed to make some mistakes. Oh, different value for when you keep versus transmit. Interesting. Okay. It really wasn't that obvious. I can launch more goo. I'm fine with launching more goo. And that they shall, Lightbringer. That they shall. Alright, so let's warp. Let's do the time warp again. I'm assuming there's a hotkey for time warp, but I wasn't able to get it by poking around. So we did all of our goo. We have successfully landed. And done. Okay. So how do we finish the thing? Ah, interesting. Which is more interesting that you have more control with period than that. Okay, whatever. No, plus and minus didn't do it. So apparently period or comma. Alright. So how do I stop the thing? How do I be done? Like, how do I get out of here and be done with it? Because I could revert flight, but that doesn't sound right. Hooray. Now, the question is, did I actually recover that vessel or not? Because this is just me going back to the Space Center. There we are. There's a thingy. Recover. I'm assuming that would have been very difficult if it hadn't landed so close by. Alright, we've gotten science. Hail science. So yeah, that was a hell of a lot more science. Well, so I'm assuming this is science for the first one. For the second one, for the third one. Not very much science for the third one, but still. That's fine. Recovery of a vessel that survived, etc., etc. We have recovered all of our parts, so we get funding back. That's good. And Jebediah Kerman is alive and well. Congratulations, little guy. Oh, yeah, because they're now playing at the top. I was worried about that. So if I were to launch a series of goos again, would I get the same diminishing returns, or is it diminishing returns per flight? Like, is goo in that one area the only time that's ever going to be useful to me? I guess is the question. Alright. Global. Wonderful. Good to know. Alright, R&D. Oh, dear lord. Just a couple things to research and or develop. So this is... Huh. Okay, so this gives me more rockety bits. Sounds good. And this gives me more sciencey bits. I mean, it looks kind of like I'll want to do both anyway. Can you really just science from the launch pad? That's amusing. Alright. Alrighty, Civil. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. I mean, I technically have enough science for both of these starting ones, but I'm not sure. Requires the start. Hey, what do you know? I have start. That's good. So, I mean, more rocket sounds like a good idea. And more engineering sounds like a good idea. And I'm sure I will want both of them. Interesting. So I could do it specifically from within the vehicle construction building, and it would give me potentially different science? I'm not sure how that works. Alright, let's do rockets. Rockets sound like a good idea. And this requires both. So I would have to launch and land near the vehicle building for that to count, I guess. Alright, I have 22 science remaining. Survivability sounds like a good idea, honestly. So let's do this one. And survivability? Because I can't afford this one, because that's 20 now, but I could afford this one. Alrighty, Jake. Thanks for stopping by. So my current streaming schedule is every weekday night. Tuesdays and Thursdays are currently dedicated to a Minecraft mod pack. Monday, Wednesday, Friday are whatever else I feel like. I just finished another mod pack, so I'm branching out to other games. So this might be a regular thing, but I don't know how often regular yet. So if you are wanting to come by more often to watch this, I'll see if I can get a proper schedule in place once I figure out how often I want to play it. But I'll post it on my... Oh, I suppose you're on YouTube, so I can figure out how to post it on YouTube. Yeah, absolutely. I'm more than happy to have people helping me out, because obviously I'm dumb as a rock in a brand new game. So yeah, I do appreciate the help, and It might be Mondays to start off with. I might just do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the next week or so, just to see, you know, how far I can get in it. So stop by again Wednesday if you want, and we'll probably continue on there. Wheels, you say? Okay. Alright, so survivability seems like a good plan. Yeah, I heard about the multiplayer mod. I've got a friend who is really insisting I play vanilla, at least through the first campaign playthrough. The only thing I added was the Kerbal Engineer mod to get a little bit more stats on my rockets. That's all I've added so far. Alright, I'm going to hold on to my science for now. I got more rockets and I got some more science, so that sounds like a good idea. Astronaut complex. This is where their buddies are hanging. Van, what? Oh, I'm used to playing heavily modded Minecraft, so taking a long time to load, I am more than used to. Vanilla, got it. So yeah, heavily modded, I don't mind, but vanilla was recommended for the first time through, which makes sense. But you know, with modded Minecraft, there's a lot of, you know, gameplay niceties that were really important. Like, I wouldn't play Minecraft without NEI to have the item list and the recipes available. So that, to me, is a required mod in my book. So for this, I asked, you know, what were required mods that really truly add to the gameplay experience without over-complicating things. So that's where Kerbal Engineer came through. Oh, okay. Only when you use them. Interesting. Alright, let's go to mission control. Suddenly, a whole bunch of missions. I really wish that my overlay were not in the way. I had problems getting the game to launch and stream properly through OBS. I prefer to do game capture mode, but that would not work. It was just black screen. So I'm currently doing screen capture mode, which is capturing my overlay. Not a fan, but oh well. Oh, you're throwing more acronyms at me. I don't know these acronyms. I've seen attack referenced, so I'm sure that's a thing. Go to the designated test site. You mean being able to go to a location specifically rather than flying completely uncontrolled? That sounds like something I can't do. So these are all focused observational studies going to a specific location. That sounds like navigation that will be too difficult for my skills. This I could do. Haul the Mark 16 parachute into flight above Kerbal. I can do that. Test the RT-10. I can do that too. Let's do the parachute and the hammer. I can do those things. Alright. So, Mark 16 parachute, already there. I do not have the flea. Or I already have the flea. So I want a hammer. Yeah, I saw the punishments, which is why I didn't do those ones, because they said, hey, you need to go to a specific location, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that. And then it said at the bottom, failure penalties. I'm like, nuh-uh, nuh-uh, I ain't doing that. Alright. So, technically this is all I need right now, and I don't need the goos anymore. Decoupler, you are correct. The decoupler is under coupling. Yes. Now, this is a solid fuel booster, so I don't need fuel tanks. I'm assuming, based on brain logic and stuff. So we've got rocket, decouple, parachute. Good, they actually put them in an order that makes sense this time. Good. I'm going to remove these, because I don't need any more goo currently. I could potentially put one on. Like, any science? And that's not related to a mission, right? Because I didn't have any missions to get science currently. I only have the 2 missions for bringing the parachute up and bringing the hammer up. So those are my 2 missions currently. Okay. Now, and by do science, you just mean crew report. And that doesn't need to be related to a mission at all, right? Because if that's the case, then I can do that. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. While I'm here, by all means, do the thing. Do science! Is there anything else I need to worry about with this mess? Like, decoupling, I'm assuming, is not going to come back and crash into me afterward. Do I need to worry about recovering of those components? Because I saw that you do gain extra money by recovering. Do I really need stability wings? And do those need to be on the boosters? Aerodynamics? Basic fins. Alright, let's do basic fins. Let's do all of the fins. Let's do 3. 3 sounds like an idea. That did kind of angle them weirdly. Oh, I'm sure I don't have any control whatsoever. I mean, these look like they're going to cause radial stability, as in spinning like mad. So, I mean, that's fine, as long as it goes straight. I'm fine with that. I couldn't get it to not do the spiral. It's aerodynamical! Like, how do I not get it to spiral? That looks a little bit better. Still kind of spirally. But this is no longer the MSG 3000. This is the double tap, because we are going twice. Do the go! Jebediah Kerman is on screen, ready to go. Alright, so we have rocket, we have couple, we have rocket, we have couple, and then survivability. Go! Do the thing! Now, I did not configure the decouplers to go at certain times, so I'm assuming I'm going to have to just decouple them myself as soon as the fuel's out. That's fine. Solid fuel is almost up. And out, decouple, go! Keep going, little buddy. Please don't burn up in the atmosphere. Please don't. I would prefer you stay not on fire. worry about it. Alright. Crew report. Keep. And hope to God you survive the landing. I know, right? It's so pretty up here. The music waited. It was very nice. We have sun. We have... There's our beloved Mun. We are still going up, by the way. I hope he doesn't get lost out in space. Alright, so where is my time to apoapsis? Where is that information hiding? Aha! So I could have brought goo with me, because I'm going to end up somewhere else entirely. That's fine. So we have quite a ways to go, so let's get this on track a little bit more. Alright. So we are back in here. Yes, I will do the same setup again with goo. So here's a challenge. I need to slow down. Yes. It's parachute under 350 to 250. So I'm assuming that the atmosphere is going to slow me down. But I have no control over it whatsoever at this point, so you're on your own, little buddy Jeb. On your own. Nope. Nope. See you, little buddy. Wait. Back from the brink. He's alive. He's not on fire. He probably got a nice suntan from the inside. Hooray! Alright. We are at safe speeds, so now we can parachute and speed that landing up a little. Oh. Okay. So physics warp literally is warping time and space and could potentially destroy your big ships. Good to know. I'm assuming that just means that the physics calculations don't really handle well with multi-part objects. Okay, good to know. Little bitty bugger like this is going to have one part to calculate, so it shouldn't be a big deal. All right, we are following our shadow here. Can I crew report again? No. Okay. And speed that up. Yeah, I figured, and I saw that when I was in my first test launch, where I was spinning him out of control just for the fun of it. I was seeing the gaps between the rocket and the capsule, just because it was spinning so fast that it was having a hard time calculating how those two pieces were attached. So I get it. It's a shame that that's a thing, because it feels like they should be able to calculate for that, but I get it, because you're essentially multiplying all the variables by numbers, which is offsetting the accuracy. There's the word I was looking for. But that's fine. Jeb's alive and well. Hooray! So, you said top center is to acquire... Ah! All these mouse over hidden options. That's weird. Recover! Let's see what we got out of this deal. We got 8 science for suborbital flight. That's good. And 4.5 science for crew report from upper atmosphere. Good. Did things. We covered the parachute and command pod and a little bit of monopropellant? What? That's weird. I don't know why we recovered monopropellant. There's no propellant. Yeah, and I know Kerbal's been around for quite a long time, and I've had it for a very long time. It was gifted to me, but I've had so many years that I've been deeply embedded in Minecraft and playing nothing else. This is my first foray into other games in over 6 months, honestly. So it's a weighty start into other games again, but that's fine. I can pick up pretty quickly. Jeb is alive. Jeb didn't get any XP gain from that? What? Jeb went up into space and hung there for quite a long time, and he got no experience out of the deal? Come on, the dude was weightless. He had to have gotten some weightlessness experience at the very least. I call foul. Alright. Next experience will be in orbit. Good to know. That requires controlling to make an orbit work. That's challenging. So yeah, these are the ones that I'm probably going to have to pass on because I have no idea how to control a landing to get into a proper location. So I'm going to let these time out, I'm sure. Maybe at some point I will have that experience, know how to do that. Oh, I'm aware. I have seen the challenge with orbits, and I have seen my own challenge with just, you know, proper control of a vehicle, so... Okay, so this one is flee booster at the launch site. I've technically already done that, but they want me to do it again, and they're going to give me more money for it, so I'm probably not going to complain. So this one is more challenging, because this one's like an actual orbit that needs to be completed. So... Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm more than prepared to grind a bunch of missions. That's fine. I kind of just wish it didn't take so much time to grind. Like, to test a flea booster at launch site means I have to launch a flea, which means I have to go through the entire launch process and landing process. I mean, good that there's warp to speed that up, but still. Alright. So this is testing a stack decoupler. That's probably too advanced for me. Radial mount parachute in flight over Kerbal. So that's... Alright, Lightbringer. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the advice. And I hope you come back. Okay. I mean, that seems expensive. Do I even have that stack decoupler? The TR-18A? I wish I could see if I had it. Coupling. Alright. I could do that. So I wonder if I could do this. Can I flee on the bottom of that? I can flee on the bottom of that. So I could flee and decouple as the test. So let's do that. So grab that mission for the flee and for the decoupler. Aha! Alright, so grab the mission for the flee and grab the mission for the stack decoupler. What? Wait a tick. I did the hammer. Unless this is specifically saying in flight, meaning airplane, in which case I can't complete this. Yeah, flying incomplete. Speed, altitude. Okay, so that I failed at reading this one properly. My bad. So that's unfortunate. So let's go do the flee quick, because I can do that. I will cheapen my rocket a little bit. So get rid of that whole mess. I don't want to decouple the flee, because I would rather recover the flee and get my money back a little bit for that. Let's aerodynamic this a little bit. And I want to get a little bit of goo going. Alrighty, Jake, see ya. Alright, electrical communication. Science! Okay. So this requires electric charge. That requires electrical, which means I don't have it. I'm assuming. Let's do a couple goos. See what little bit of science I can pull from it. Go there, that's fine. Let's launch you. We need to do another stage. Okay. Let's do a goo. Keep that. Launch. You're gonna go that way just a little hair. Crew report, because why not? Observe goo, because why not? And might as well just parachute now and speed that stuff up. You're just gonna nosedive into the water, aren't you? Okay, good. Last minute. Hooray! Kerbal! That was a very large Kerbal. That startled me. Alright, cover vessel. No, I'm out of wine. Okay, 0 science for crew report over Kerbal Shores. Fine. 3 science for goo. 1 science for goo. 8 science, or 0.8 science, sorry, for recovering. Good enough. We got some money back for parts. Money back for most of the parts. Mystery goo is half. Interesting. Yeah, mystery goo got fully refunded. Basic fin got fully refunded. Monopropellant, close enough. Solid fuel, no recovery. Okay, good. Makes sense. Alright, so mission control. That one active is not going to happen anytime soon. So let's check out R&D and see if we can get any sort of flight going. Okay, so that's radial decoupler. Okay, so so that's the TT-38K. And mission... No, okay. Ferry a VIP safely to our destination back. What? I don't know how to do that. Okay, so the temperature survey I would do, but the temperature module I have requires electricity, which I don't have, strangely enough. So that's challenging. These are all going to go away. So this is a Mark 12R radial mount drogue chute in flight. And this is a radial mount parachute Mark 2R. Okay. So if we go into space plane, what do I have for utilities? None of the above. Good to know. Okay. Interesting. You guys, I need R&D. So let's see. Those are heat shields. So these are the radial mount parachutes that it wants me to test. So I could research this and then test them. So this is useful for slowing down the craft prior to main shoot. And this is a replacement for the main chute. Okay. This is a service bay. Good to know. So let's go with survivability research. These are more winglets, and this is more science. Okay. These are more rackets. Sure, let's do this. Okay, so that leaves me with 13, so I do not have enough science to do anything. Okay, got it. Alright, so let's check the missions again. So we have the mission for the hammer in flight over Kerbal. So this is a failure. I might even need to just count this as a loss, because I'm not going to get in flight over Kerbal anytime soon. However, I could try. So the in-flight over Kerbal requires 5,000 to 13,000 altitude and speed 40 to 240. I wonder how we can accomplish that. This is orbiting, can't do that. So this is a Mark 2R radial mount parachute in flight over Kerbal. And this is the radial mount drogue chute in flight over Kerbal. So let's try. Do we have the Mark 2R radial mount parachute? I know I just did that but I don't remember if I got that specific one. Parachute. Okay, so that's the Mark II-R radial mount parachute. Okay. So I could potentially do this. Okay. Structural? Sure, let's do that. Engines. I need a hammer in flight. Let's do that, because why not? I don't think I need the radial decoupler. I do need wings. I do not know which of these I need. So let's do that. Nose cone. That nose cone is hilariously big. Okay, so not nose cone. Got it. You're a micro landing strut, but you are not wheels. Like, just not wheels. So that's actually going to be a challenge, because I don't have wheels to roll this thing off with yet. You are heat shield, radiators. So I don't think I can fly yet. At all. Like, whatsoever. Because I could do this, which is fine. That didn't work at all. Just double? Okay, that's fine. That's fine, that's fine. But without wings, or without wheels, I can't set this thing down on the ground and actually launch the damn thing. So that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Don't say, go away. So that means that that mission is essentially lost. And I kind of want to dump it. I do have skids. And I guess I could try skids to see how well it works. Why is my camera being all janky? What's up with you, camera? There we go. I mean, yeah, I guess I could try skids. So this is the hammer flight, solid fuel, okay. So let's try skids, shall we? I told it not to save, but it saved it anyway, so, you know. Whatever. Alright, so what's our nonsense look like? Center of gravity. I'm gonna take... How do I get rid of this part? Like this part here. No. I want to grab this thing. This thing. There we go. That's part management. Alright, so where's our center of mass? And center of thrust. Aerodynamics. Oh, why don't I only have one wing? Give me another wing. Give me another wing. There we go. So I'm pretty sure that this needs to be ahead of the center of gravity. That's a really weird place for wings, but that's fine. I am curious to see if it would actually do anything at this rate. Something tells me that this is a terrible, terrible plane design. And also, I don't even know if the skids are going to work, but that's also okay. Let's grab another one of these, do that. Just for shits and giggles, let's launch the thing and see what happens. It's only going to cost me 2,000 to do whatever just happened there. That's fine, that's fine. Whatever just happened, do. Go! Go! That worked wonderfully. That's fine. So I don't know why the skids are like this, but I'm pretty sure these are not the skids meant to be on a plane, so those are just going to go away. I don't have any other form of landing gear, so yeah, I just can't do that, and that's fine. So don't save. Oh no! Who suggested skids? Where did they go? No, that's fine. I suspected it wouldn't work because they weren't retracting down like I thought they would, but that's fine. So my mistake, and since you're just joining here, Duck Swan, I love the name by the way. My mistake is when I first took this mission, I just saw test the RT-10 hammer. I didn't see that it said in flight. So when I accepted this mission, I didn't realize that this required essentially a functional plane to test it. With specific altitude and speed requirements. So, seeing as I'm literally just starting the game, and I've never played before, I don't know how long it's going to take me to be able to do this mission, and I would rather have the mission open to do other things. So I might just abandon that mission. We'll see. Because this is in flight, this is in flight, this is orbiting. I haven't done any orbiting yet. In fact, I don't think I can do any missions currently. Because I do not have, let's see, I do not have the knowledge required to get a Kerbal dude to a specific location. Like I don't think I have the flight control, I don't have the personal skills to do that, so these top 5 missions are not functional for me. Same with the Ferry the VP to her destination. I don't know how to get the lady to where she needs to be. She's just going to end up wherever the hell she ends up. So I'm not going to do that. This one and these two are all 3 related to orbiting, and these ones are all related to flight, which I can't do. So I think orbiting is probably the only answer I've got, but I don't know how much control I've got over that. All you need to do is throw yourself at the ground and miss. You make it sound so easy. But I am going to abandon this mission, because I'm not going to fly anytime soon. And I'm just going to take the punishment for it. That's fine. So, orbit, carbon. I do need to orbit. I also need to test a stack decoupler or the swivel liquid fuel engine. The liquid fuel engine, I believe, is what gives me the somewhat amount of flight control required. So maybe that? Okay. So what do I have for rocket research? Yeah, I don't have the science required to do this yet, which is a challenge. So I might need to launch a few just basic rockets and recover them to get some science. Might. Because I think I need bigger rocketry to be able to hit the altitude I need. I mean, I could just try. Let's take the orbiting mission. And so this is testing the decoupler while orbiting. And that sounds like something I can't necessarily do right away. Because that requires overbuilding my rocket to the point where I could actually decouple something while in orbit. So that might be something that's not doable yet. This one wants me to test the decoupler at the launch site. Interesting. But do I have the Rockomax brand decoupler? Let's see. Do I have the Rockomax brand decoupler? I do not have the Rockomax brand decoupler, so that's not going to happen. Alright, fine. Be that way. Alright, let's make pod. Let's make a parachute. Actually, what's better? Radial parachute? I could do the regular nose cone parachute, or I could do a radial parachute and actually do the nose cone wherever it happens to be hiding. This thing. But I think that's more functional for planes. And that certainly doesn't fit there, so nose parachute it is. Another thing I wanted to do is some science. Let's do some mystery goo for science. Let's do 3 of them, I think. So this is the other challenge. I have 2 science available to me, thermometer and barometer. Both require electrical charge. But, oh, so they only need electrical charge for the sensor. They don't need electrical charge for the science experiment? Question mark? Because if that's the case, I could remove all of these and potentially line up my science manually. So I could do that. And then I could potentially do barometer here and thermometer here. But that's also relying on me manually aligning these in some sort of appropriate manner, which might offset the balance a little bit, but screw it! We'll do it live. So this is not right-clicking anything useful? Interesting. Ah, well. We'll see what happens. Alright, so I need coupling. I need lots of engines. Coupling. This coupling. And then down, down, down. Engine. Let's see about doing another one. I think that's a little bit too much engine space. Is that even enough to get me into orbit, is the big question. Alright. So these two have roughly the same... They have the exact same thrust. No. Because, well, the part that made me think in flight is that there is a specific altitude range. I think one of them was like 5,000 to 13,000 altitude, plus a specific speed. And that made me think that I had to be at a certain altitude at a certain velocity doing that. But you might be right. Maybe it works just coming down on parachute. I don't know for sure. So no chem rockets. Okay. let's skip that idea. So we could do fuel tanks instead, and then just a single swivel booster? Or could we, like, is it useful to do a fuel tank, a booster, and then decouple another set of fuel tanks and boosters? Oh, that's an extra. Okay. 7 tanks. Okay. Is there a way to duplicate parts? This is the only tank I have available. Like, this is it. I have this engine and I have this tank. That's it. So, what's the way to quick duplicate parts then? I'm sure there's a key command for it. It's not Control C. Unless... No, okay. Alt click. Aha! You are correct. So that is 7. So, are these considered the tiny tanks that you think we should do 14 of? So these are... Oh, okay. Alright. Oh no, I totally get it. I wouldn't know for sure either. So, should we just 14 tank and an engine this thing and see what happens? Another question, and I don't know if you know the answer to this. For these sciences, the thermometer and the barometer both have science experiment options available. Logging data, collectible data, rerunnable, and resettable. Sure, they all look good. But are they right-clickable? Like, Mystery Goo has a right-click option here. And this one does not have a right-click. So I'm assuming once I've launched, the right-click options are available to run the experiments. But I'm not sure. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get rid of that. Alright, so we'll see how far this gets us. Now, the Kerbal Engineer does give stats. Great. However, I don't know what any of these stats mean. So, I'm not sure how useful any of this is going to be to me. Fins, yes, thank you. For fins, I'm assuming the lightest ones are the most useful right now, so they don't cause too much extra weight on the rocket. But where's the... Is there any information that tells me which fin is more effective? I mean, I'm assuming the more expensive one is more effective, but doesn't really tell me much. All I see is the wing area for lifting surface. That's all I really see. Yeah, okay. So let's radial that. Let's do 4 for stability. Just because I feel like throwing this much fuel into space requires a little bit more stability. Screw it, go! I probably need to do my stages just as a reminder to self. Nope. Rocket, decoupler, engine. Go. Go! Most effective launch ever. Alright. That did not work. In the least. Fuck it. Goo. I'm observing the goo from the launch pad. Do it. Just because, why not? I've already failed miserably. I don't know why that didn't launch, by the way. Is this a situation where it was clipping into the ground? Like, was the clipping into the ground enough to stop it from launching, or was there something else? Like, I've seen Launchpad, I've seen people build, like, the support structures to hold the rocket up ready to go. But I don't know what went wrong there. So any idea on why that didn't launch properly? Because it just kind of farted a little bit and then stopped. I kind of want to try that again, just to see if I did something horribly wrong. So I've got Rocket. Let's see if Rocket has any configuration I need to do. Shroud enabled, gimbals free. Fuel tanks and oxidizers are full. Everything appears to be fine. I don't have a name for this one, so Untitled Spacecraft it is. Go. So that's the thing I'm concerned about, is if that's clipping at all. It's hard to tell. But we have our rocket. We are on stage 2. Nothing else appears to be janky. Go. Why you no go? Why you no go? It literally just isn't doing. I don't get it. Let's go again. Maybe. You're just trying to redeem yourself with a skid suggestion, aren't you? Alright, let's recover as little science as we possibly can. Because why not? I am sure I'm not going to recover anything useful from that. .2 science. Best science ever. But that did put me at 20 science, which does give me more rockets. So that was not an entirely wasted launch. as stupid as that is, it wasn't entirely wasted. So if I go to research and development, I can now get the 3rd tier rockets. So that's good. So screw it, let's do it. Now this is where you can make the stability enhancers for launching. So maybe this is what's needed next. So who knows? I can't afford it, so yeah. That ain't happening anytime soon. Let's try the feet skids. So let's bring this down a bit, just to get an idea of surface to ground interaction. Skids. No, it doesn't look like the skids are Unless the skids can attach to the rocket. Nope, so that's as far down as they can go. And that does not put them quite far enough down, so that's unfortunate. So maybe I can do this. So let's bring this up a hair. And let's do a couple. Yeah, can't couple there. There we go. There's a couple. That's what I was looking for. So now that we've coupled there, maybe a solid booster is enough to get it started. Sure, let's try that. Alright, so we've got solid, decouple, liquid, decouple. Okay, go. Hooray! I know, Mike, I know. I have a couple friends who told me that I absolutely have to play modded, or vanilla first, just to get the full starting experience. Once I do that... What the fuck? Why is my liquid not launching? My liquid just doesn't do anything. That's hilarious. No, this is literally my first time playing. I've never touched it before. I barely know anything about it except for watching a little bit of a Let's Play. So, this is all me being dumb and noobish, and I'm okay with that. So that is an unfortunate loss right there, because that damn liquid launcher will not launch. It was set with oxidizer. I can't click it now, obviously, but it said that the oxidizer was full when I checked it. So let's warp this to the end, and then and then I can show you, and you can potentially tell me where to fix the problem. All of that fuel, so wasted. Ah well. It was a spectacular explosion, I am sure, that I didn't get to see. This is as fast as I can warp. This is sad. Okay. Good. Let's launch the goo! Nope, no science worth. Nothing. Okay. Back it. Recover. Oh, I knew I needed to throttle up. Okay. Thank you for that. This is my first time actually using a liquid, so I totally forgot about the throttle that I learned about in the tutorial. So, yeah. My bad. My bad. Alright, let's go right back to launching this thing. I'll leave the solid in place, because why the hell not? And let's throttle up. Is there any problem with just starting at max throttle? Like, is there a problem with just starting at max? Or should it be actually throttled up a little bit? Like, I don't see a problem with it, but just in case it's a problem, I don't know. No problem. Got it. Go! Do the thing, little Kerbals. I see it has a tendency of leaning towards that way because the goo is ever so slightly heavier than the other science instruments. That's fine. I don't mind. The goo can cause all the problems it wants. Hooray! Ever so slightly imbalanced, but that's okay. Plenty of liquid fuel, but we are only at pausing. And we're not close to our amount of fuel that we've got, so... My stability is not great at the moment. But that's fine. I can manually compensate a little bit. Alright. So we are essentially free falling. I like how the little wobbly wiggly thing at the bottom here still manages to have control even though there's absolutely no thrust coming out of it. Like I can still potentially control this thing, which is amusing to me, but that's fine. Alright, so we are at 130 and still climbing technically. Now, I do not remember what my missions were. I need to orbit. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for the sub. I wish I had better notification processes, because I do like to thank people for subbing. But my notifications currently for YouTube are not working properly, so I do appreciate it. Appreciate the advice. Absolutely. I am still technically accelerating. But I will not be able to orbit because I have no way to correct my orbit. I did not plan for that extra bit of thrust in space. So here's hoping that my dude actually comes back down again. According to this, he is planning on coming back down again eventually. It's a good thing. I'm happy he is planning on returning. Alright, so according to this, we are out of ammo, so that's good. Let's get this pointed back this direction still. I'm wondering where would be effective to do these things. Okay, so I'm still quite a ways up. That's good. Is there a cancel option? Reset experiment? There we go. So we are still climbing. And we are nowhere near apoaxis yet, so... I kind of want to wait to do the science once we get high enough up. Because that should provide a decent science experiment. I'm guessing. I don't know what the thresholds are for getting science. Still going. I'm going to map and speed up a hair. Alright, so we are nearing apoaxis at 140. What's the 175 is the max, okay. So we are effectively in space. I mean, we are in space, we're past atmosphere. We are not in orbit, though. But that's fine. We're still having a lovely floaty time up here for quite a while. So I'm going to do the science experiments while I've got decent slowness going on. Odd. This is less science than I could have gotten while I was higher up. Or while I was further down, but that's fine. Whatever. A lot of pressure data. 18 science is nice. I am out of fuel. I am free fallen. Or rather, I am close to free falling. I am at the peak of my orbit very soon here. So then the next step is go back down. So the thing that we were trying to figure out is how much liquid fuel I needed to get into space. Got it. I'm in space. So now all I need to do is add another stage with another smaller liquid fuel and hopefully be able to achieve orbit. I don't have any sort of calculation methods or assistance that I'm aware of that will tell me how much I need to achieve orbit. So it might be a trial and error. Maybe there is something in the game that tells me these things. I don't know for sure. So let's speed this bastard up and get back down to space. Or get back down to orbit. There we go. Alright, so let's see about launching that crap. Whoa, that is way too much control. Okay. Let's get you a little bit under control there. See ya, Jeb. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy. So I had no way to salvage that. I probably should have had a heat shield, because I didn't realize that the heat shield was that critical up at that altitude. Now, how do I reset? Because right-click is the normal reset option. I don't have options. Ah, there we go. Took a while. Alright, catastrophic results. Basically, overheated, cooked Doom. Got it. Revert to vehicle assembly. So we need to heat shield this thing. I'm assuming we need the max heat shield. And I have no idea if that's even useful. I also don't know if this radiator is something that would be useful during re-entry. So that's a thing to consider. Alright, so heat shield. We need coupler. That's kind of weird. I think they're meant to be expendable. And I'm not sure if they would even survive re-entry because of there's no aerodynamics to them. So I think they're generally considered a loss. There may be methods to recover them, honestly, but I'm not sure I want to try to fiddle with that. At least not at the moment. I can count them as a loss. Let's see, what do we got? We've got coupling, we've got payload. Now, I don't know if this is useful to me at all. Heat-resistant service bay. Maybe it's worth doing something like this and putting these inside. Open service bay. Okay. So we could technically put these modules inside. Like that or something. Interesting. There's an idea. Let's do that. So, is this useful? Like, straight up, is this useful? I have no idea. Let's have a flight computer, because why not? Let's have a flight computer. That sounds like an idea. And an engineering system, why not? Let's do that too. There, we've got a bunch of parts inside. Close that service bay. We're just shoving stuff in the trunk and hoping it works, basically. Alright, so now I need another... I don't want to decouple that. What am I doing? I want to recover that. So let's recover that, and hopefully that will be functional. I don't even know if that's useful. Let's not let's test it. Let's see if it works. It might be catastrophic failure again, but that's what we're here for, right? The goo made it difficult because it was imbalanced. So I'm thinking I can just do some radial symmetry on the goo. It doesn't look like there's enough room in there. But maybe? Can we goo on the underside? We can goo on the underside. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm actually thrilled that that actually works just from a technological standpoint of them coding that in. Like that's amazing to me. All right, so I think it was probably a combination of drag and imbalance, because I only had one goo, and on the other sides I had lighter, smaller components. So it could have been a combination of drag or imbalance or something. I don't know. But yes, you're right. It was definitely causing problems, regardless of what those problems were. Alright, so we've got a decoupler. Let's do... So this is 45 and 55. And this is double that. Okay. So let's do one of these for our attempt at orbit. And then... let's do a swivel here. And let's move this up quite a ways. Let's reattach that. Like that. And then I want to remove this engine. And do this engine instead. The heat shield is under the trunk, yes. I will check again just to be sure, but I'm pretty sure I did that. So let's do this. And booster missed. Come on, booster. There you go. Alright, so this is a hell of a rocket. I mean, this is just a straight up beast of a rocket. So we've got solid booster. We've got decoupler. We need another stage there, because solid booster and decoupler are on the same stage. Okay, so solid booster, decouple that, liquid booster, and a whole bunch of tanks. And then we've got a decouple. Interesting, so we need another stage. We need this stage to be here, and this stage to be here. Okay, let's just check. Solid, decouple, liquid, decouple, liquid, decouple. Right there, okay. So yes, and under this we've got... where did that... oh, the heat shield ended up attached to the decoupler. Interesting. So let's do that. Grab the decoupler. There we go. So the heat shield is attached to the trunk. I just ended up accidentally grabbing the heat shield instead of the decoupler component. So yes, heat shield here. There's no decouplers in between, so this should do the thing properly. And I know part of one of the failures that I had was going into re-entry. This was not aligned properly, but it was going to blow up anyway, because I remember coming in from like 150,000 meters was still enough to almost put it on fire. So I need to do two things. I need to get this heat shield on here, done, and then I need to somehow make sure that the heat shield is actually aligned with the atmosphere as it's coming down. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that because of my own personal skills, but we'll see. Alright, so we've got a hell of a rocket. We've got all of our stages planned. What's the cost on this bugger? 10,000? That's it? Alright, I'll count it. So do we think we're good? I mean, I think we're good. My biggest challenge is actually going to be doing the orbit thing. Like, I don't actually know how to plan that. Crew? I know, right? I'm excited. You know, Jebediah? You're gonna stay. I like you, Jebediah. I like your name. I like the cut of your jib, sir. Alright, so what are we gonna call this thing? Ha! It's long, and it's a long shot that it's actually gonna work. Puns! Amazing. I didn't save that one, but that's okay. It doesn't seem to care if I save it or not. It's fine, it's fine. Now, try to remind me, because I might forget, try to remind me to actually do my science once I'm up in orbit. Because I will probably forget that part. Alright. So I want to throttle up ahead of time so I don't forget. I don't need it for my solid engine, but I do need it for my liquid. So, go! Go do thing! Survive! Hooray! He has rocket. Fire! Okay. So, we has rocket. We are going. Solid fuel's out. Decouple, boost. We are still relatively straight. Crookeding a little bit, but that's fine. Alright, so according to the parachute, we should not launch it right now. I mean, just saying. We shouldn't do that right now. We should do that for countless other reasons, but the parachute itself says it's not cool. I think the turning might help a little bit. It's not terribly necessary once you get up high enough, so I can decouple that. So we are still... We're losing speed, but we are still going forward. Alright, so let's map. We're here. Okay, so... There is a planning process. I just don't know how to do it. Like, you can plan your route, but I don't know how to do it. So, let's map. And let's, holy crap, turn the right direction. Alright, so let's get this bugger moving. Oh god, we didn't put any fins on this section. We're doomed! We're doomed! Okay, so that was not enough fuel, first off. The straight up wasn't enough fuel. So, let's get that thing out of my way. Oh, there's no throttling. There's no throttle, nothing. But yeah, it was something I should have done. Alright, so that rocket did not do as well because we had a whole bunch of extra weight and not enough, meh. I am terrible at 3D controls. Alright. Okay, so that was a bust. So we added a lot of extra weight and didn't add a lot of extra thrust. So I should have had a different solid state on there, or a solid booster on there. So this is really difficult to control when there's no, what the hell are those thrusters called? I guess attitude thrusters. Okay, so let's speed up a little bit, get up, and then back down again. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Don't post stupid shit. Let's do science time. Let's see what we got. Alright, so we've got goo. keep it. We've got pressure data, keep it. We've got temperature data, keep it. I don't know what this does. I don't know what that does, so let's close this again. Alright, so we've got a heat shield. Hey, 9-year-old? Quit being a dick. That's all there is to that. If you're 9, I'm sorry for your lack of age and experience. If you're older than 9, just stop. It's pointless. Alright, so we've got... streaming 2 high res. I'll take that as a compliment. I'm sorry though that you can't stream, or that you can't watch because of that high res. That's a shame. So we are going to parachute. We have survived. The heat shield did its thing. Something just exploded nearby. That's fine. And we have our science safely contained in our service bay. Oh my god. We just did successful. I'm happy. I am happy. We didn't get orbit, but we survived, and that's important. Poor Jebediah doesn't need another near-death experience. Alright, so we are launched. We are landed. We are recovering. Huzzah! Alright, lessons learned. And I'm sure that's the entire point of this game. Lessons learned. I got a bunch of science. That's great. I recovered a decent chunk of my parts. That's great. Well, thank you for stopping by anyway. Hopefully, you'll be able to find Wi-Fi soon and come back, perhaps. Alright. So, lessons learned, as I said. We need to have a separate set of wings on this section up here. Multi-res? Now you're going to have to tell me what that is, because I don't actually know what that is. I am currently streaming on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube, in case either one of those helps you at all. But if you've got tips for telling me how to do this better for you, by all means, let me know. But we do need wings on here, so that will be the first thing. We need more wings. Let's do 3. And that can be on there. Ew. Oh, yeah, I suppose. 150 gigs a month is a problem. I should probably look into that and make sure I'm not going over mine too, because now that I'm streaming more regularly, I'm sure Comcast is going to have a heart attack, because they're kind of jerks like that. Yes, more fuel in the final stage. So let's grab this. And more fuel. I probably should throw a thumper on the bottom of there and see how that brings me up. More fuel, more fuel. Let's do another one of those. Let's bring you up a hair. You can come back to connect there. You little hammer solid fuel needs to go away. And we're gonna thumper it. It is even more the long shot than it was before. Because my god, is that a long rocket. I'm even going to add another set of wings down here just in case that's important. Yeah, you can go, I don't know, there. Less rotational, please. There we go. Alright, so we've got a long-ass rocket. And I probably don't even need these liquids, honestly, if I'm throwing thumpers in there. Should I get rid of the liquids? Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the liquids. So let's move the thumper. Get rid of this whole mess. Thumper. And then decouple in another thumper. Because why not go excess all the way? My YouTube link should be linked in my description on my Twitch page. If you scroll down to the description a little bit, you should see a link for YouTube to click on. Okay. Yeah, if YouTube automatically scales resolution down, then that might be your best option. So let me know if you see that YouTube link, otherwise I can post that link for you. My concern is that it might require specific streaming requirements, because Mixer, for example, has FTL, which is an incredibly fast response time streaming service. So my stream and your text are within milliseconds of each other. So it helps for quick responses, but that does require specific streaming requirements that doesn't let me stream to Mixer, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time. So I'm curious about multi-res, so actually let me write myself a note and I will look that up later. There, I have noted to self, so thank you for that. And by all means, feel free to follow me if you're interested at all. If not, by all means, just do your own thing, but I will be researching that. Because I would, like to be useful for people who have data caps or, slower network speeds as well. Because I know streaming at 1080p is not necessarily for everyone. I used to not be able to do it very well. Alright, this rocket is... Sure. It's going to remain the long shot. Let's save this thing and launch it. Because, screw it. Craft is too large for a launch pad. Okay. Okay. I guess it's too long. Should we test the thumper? Just solo and see if the thumper's... See where the thumper gets me first off? Alright, so we've got thumper, decouple, liquid, decouple, cap. Okay. Screw it. Let's see how well it works. Alright, Jebediah, you ready to go again, buddy? Go, Jebediah! To the stars with you, little sir. Don't worry about it. I will do some research and see what I can figure out. Because you're right, that does sound like a very good idea. I just hope it's not something specific. I hope it's something that maybe YouTube does automatically or something like that. Do you know if you've seen the multi-res on Twitch? Like, is that a thing? Because if that's a thing, that might be something I can just enable. Alright, so solid fuel is still going. We haven't even made 10,000 yet, which is kind of sad. Launch that, throttle up, and go. Whoa. Why is this thing so hard to control? Like, WTF, yo. Like, what? Why are you doing the thing? Well, that was a bust. Go away, liquid rocket. There you go. I do not like the attitude controls. Like, If there was some sort of autopilot for that, I would be really happy. And there might be. Alright, let's... this looks like a good enough altitude for this. Log pressure data. We're not getting any science out of it. Okay, fine. Oh, I know. I wasn't anywhere near orbit speeds, so at that point I was just trying to throttle it up all the way to see how high it could go. Well, so the thing is, I had fins on the rocket before I decoupled it. So the fins were there, but they weren't working. So it might have been the placement of the fins. It could have been all sorts of stuff. So let's try to get you pointed back at the ground. I am absolutely terrible at these controls. That's okay. Alright, so you're going back down. Let's speed you up a little bit. Hopefully you will reorient yourself with the heat shield. Because otherwise that looks very uncomfortable. Yeah, you look like you're bottling properly. Here we go. You didn't even need the heat shield for that one. That's sad. Alright, speed up. Go faster. Curse sploosh! Okay. I wonder if this has water challenges. Nope. You don't seem to care about water whatsoever. So let's take some pressure data from sub water. Log temperature data of the water, because we need to know what the water temperature is, and let's test goo in the water. Okay. We did science anyway. Wasn't a loss. Well, it was a loss of a whole boatload of fuel and rockets, but still. Alright, we did science, hooray. Our funds are staying roughly static. I'm not gaining or losing. It's fine. Jeb's alive, that's all that matters. Alright, I should kill these, because I don't want to do them. Because I really don't know how to get a rocket where it needs to go. I can barely get a rocket to go forward without it freaking the crap out. I don't have a Rocco Max brand decoupler to test, unless they're going to give me the Rocco Max brand decoupler. I don't see any hints that they're going to give me the Rocco Max brand decoupler. Alrighty. Sorry you couldn't stick around, but thanks for stopping by. And I will see about getting that multi-res going for you. Alright, this is an orbit, this is a flight, this is a flight, this is an orbit. Okay, so, don't have orbit yet. So let's skip that. Let's check what we can do for R&D. These are all 45s. I don't have enough science yet for that. It's fine. Interesting. Tells you how much science you got for everything. I'll take it. Alright. What are these? Alrighty, sounds good. Looking forward to hearing more. These are interesting. Aggressive negotiations. You won't give me what I want? Punch you in the head. I don't need any of that because that's going to hurt my brain. Tracking station. Ooh. Things. So this is, I'm sure, where you could track all of your various space stations and ships and all that if you were to have multiple in orbit. So that's great. Okay. So I do have follow notifications that are supposed to show up on screen right in the center. So apparently that doesn't work right now. That's unfortunate. And the chat bots for follow notifications, I have yet to find one that works reliably. I'm still browsing some channels to see if I can find one, but I do appreciate the follow nonetheless. I'm still working out some of the kinks. I've only been streaming for a couple weeks now, so I definitely know what I need to do. I just haven't found the answers to all of them yet. But yeah, my follow notification is supposed to work. It's supposed to be on the screen, but sigh. Sigh indeed. I know YouTube is broken. So if you followed, thank you. But YouTube is broken for follow notifications completely. The Twitch notifications on screen, at least, were supposed to work. I don't have reliable text notifications in chat. The only one that works reliably is Mixer. Hey, a link! That did not work. Hold on. Feel free to try the link again there. Sorry about the over-enthusiastic bot. He gets angry at people sometimes. Oh, the notification for the Twitch for the thingies did show. Okay. I don't see it because I've got it up on another monitor that's way off to my side, so I don't get to see those very easily. I'm trying to figure out answers to that because I want to be notified. I want to be able to thank people for following, but I don't have answers yet. Newest space plane. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, geez. That is an impressive piece of work you got there. Good lord. That is mighty impressive. Mighty impressive. I bow to your skills, and I hope to one day be even half as good as you. That was weird. Why are you taking so long to load the world? That was very weird. Okay. Needs more engines, of course. Alright, so what can I do to progress? I need more science, absolutely. There's only so much I can do shooting up into space and then come back down again. Alright. See you when you get back. So let's try to fix this rocket. Because the Thumper did not do me so good. So the Thumper can go away. These wings need to be further down. Closer to the actual engine. Let's see. Let's zoom in a little bit. Why did it default back to no symmetry? Okay. So we've got symmetry again. Closer to the rocket that time. We've got as much science as we can jam all up in there. Unless the communication helps. Nope, no communication. Apparently, the computer flight unit and the engineering system don't help too terribly much. But that's fine. I'm recovering them each time, so it's not a loss to me. I've got thermal, I've got barometer, and I've got mystery goo. Alright, so how do we want to do this? Let's try clicking the things that are supposed to be clicked on. Let's go with... Oh. Oh dear. You know this is happening now that I realize that this can happen, right? Oh dear. Alright, so let's not do that. Hey Ivan, how you doing? Alright, so let's go with Reliant. Well, let's see. Which one has more thrust? Reliant has more thrust and weighs less, which is interesting. Screw it, why not? Alright, so let's go with radial decouplers. And let's go with a handful of thumpers. Whoa, that's not how that's supposed to work. Alright, handful of thumpers. That's gonna be good, right? Cause more engines. Cause more engines. Alright, let's put some fins on this thing, cause fins are important. Let's nose cone on top of those engines. Because why not? And you know what? Because we're doing something a little bit more fancy than I had been before, let's do fancier fins. There we go. Fancy. Fancy, fancy. Okay. So, this is almost twice as expensive as my previous rocket attempts. Those fins are off kilter, and that's going to bother me a little bit. So, fins, do the straightness. Why do the straightness? Why you gotta be all janky like that? Why you gotta be like that? Janky fins are gonna be the enemy. Literally. Alright, screw it. We'll go with it. Okay, so we've got those thingies. We've got decouplers. We've got that rocket, decoupler, that rocket, decoupler. Okay. So, this is still long shot, but... So, my question is stability. Like, once I get to this stage, I don't know how to control it. It just kind of goes all over the damn place. But, screw it. We'll go. Oh, okay. Yes, indeed. Do I have an... I do have an up. Hey, there we go. Go for it. Alright. So let me click on that thingy, get it over on my other screen. Ah, partners. Okay. So that is something that I do believe costs money, but if not, I'll look into it. So I've got it up on my screen. I will definitely look into that as soon as I am done. And there's another linky to click. OBS. Interesting. Perfect. So that definitely helps out. I will see if that lets me do it with my multi-streaming, because using Restream kind of limits things a little bit, which I don't like all that much, but I will see what options are available, and I will definitely do as much as I possibly can. Meanwhile, let's launch a rocket. Too many parts? What? What? Alright, so where's my part count? My part count is 34? Okay. So let's get rid of these. I wonder if the nose cones are enough. That's 31. Interesting. Well, I've never had more than 12 active viewers at a time, and that was split between Twitch and YouTube and Mixer. So I doubt I will be that popular anytime soon. But I can certainly apply and see if they'll take it. I can definitely pull out the extra electronics. Let's do that, because I don't need this doohickey, nor this doohickey. So that's 2 parts. Well, thank you for the information. I will definitely look into those and see how much better I can be. Because I do want to be the very best, like no one ever was. Let's count these fins as unnecessary. And let's move these fins a little bit so that they're in between. So we are under our part limit. Go. Seriously. Seriously? Okay, fine. Okay, fine. These things have to go, because those are too big. I wonder if radial is still a useful thing if I do 3 smaller engines. So let's try these ones. See if the hammers are enough to get this thing airborne. I doubt it, but worth a try. And nose cones. Where are you, nose cones? Aerodynamics nose cones. Because screw it, why not? Grr. So not tri-radial then. How about bi-radial? Sure, let's try that. 2 hammers. I do have a couple other streamer friends, and they do a little bit of rating. But yeah, we don't. Between all of us, we don't have that much viewership. I'm not too much into heavy-duty self-promotion just yet, but I might have to start. We'll see. There we go. So why are you not going down further? Okay, fine. Guess you're just gonna be a jerk like that. Alright, fine. Okay, so we've got 2 of those, we've got decouples, we've got that, we got that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Alright. I will hold you to that this time. Go, so your data doesn't freak out on you. But thank you for everything, and thank you for stopping by, and thank you for the follows and everything. And I hope to see you again at some point. Seriously? 0.26 tons over? I wonder if these will do it. Yeah, those will do it. Those nose cones are heavy. Alright. Where am I looking at the mass? Oh, okay. So I'm looking at the mass here. And I wasn't calculating it right. Okay. I literally don't know who those people are, because I'm not on Twitch all that much. If you have links, let me know, and I will bet you again. But yeah, I don't know who those people are, so I'd kind of feel awkward about just running into their channel and being like, "Hey, yo, give me people." But I will check them out and see if they're my kind of peoples. Okay, so we're still a little bit over. So hammers can go. Let's try a little bit of fleas. That just sounds kind of silly. It seems kind of unnecessary and useless, but feck it, why not? Alright, let's do this thing. See what we can get with this. Where are you going, little buddy? Where are you going? Where are you going? Oh god, where are you going? Why are you going out there? Why? Oh god. We're doomed. We're doomed. You know what? I'm just gonna rocket you straight into the ground, because that's what we're doing right now. Whee! Technically survived! Technically survived. Oh, that was a cluster. Okay. So, why is there no quick and easy option to back out? I guess. Revert to launch. Let's try that launch a little bit less crappy this time. Alright, throttle up ahead of time, because I didn't do that last time. Let's launch. Try to control the incline ahead. Nope. Nope. Go away, rocket. Rocket's not going away. Alright. Screw it all. Screw it all. Oh dear. So that is a miserable rocket. Absolutely miserable rocket. So screw that thing. Screw that thing. Let's couple. And we're at 11,000 kilograms. This thing is... But that didn't do it for me last time. Alright, so let's do what we had done before then. So I'm going to move this, and I'm going to clone these. So we've got 8. Good to know. Basic fin's fine. Do you have any tips for controlling attitude while in space? Because, I mean, I was up in space above atmosphere, and as soon as I launched the rocket on this thing, it went all over the goddamn place, and I had no control over it whatsoever. So this is 8 large fuel tanks. And I only had, what, 7 small ones before? So let's see. I don't actually know where that control is, so let's try to launch and see if that control is somewhere. Okay, so here's another thing. I'm new enough to this game that I don't know where the SAS is. I've heard of it, but I don't know where it is or how to get to it. It's an F something key. Okay, so let's see. Settings. There's no keybinds in here. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So that's a thing I didn't realize. I don't know what RCS is, but alright. I'm having troubles with this button here. There we go. So stability assist, is that something I want to do during launch? Because I remember some people talking about not wanting to do that during launch, but do it after launch, something like that. I don't know what RCS is either. Always use SAS. Okay. Good to know, because that's something that I was definitely struggling with. Looking at this rocket, it's actually swaying in the breeze. That's a concern. But screw it, go! Really? Pardon me. Alright, let's try that again. I'll try that again, less sucking this time. So what did I do wrong? I probably had my stages wrong. So I had a decouple first, rather than, oh, duh, because I put a decouple there with plans of putting more on the bottom, but I didn't, so I need to revert to vehicle assembly and remove that decouple. Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, I know what you're referring to. I just totally forgot that's what it's called. So yes, I know what that is now. I don't have any of those yet, by the way. Alright. So let's launch again. Less sucking this time. Throttle up. Turn on the sassy thing. Do the go. Do the go. Do not know why my camera keeps rotating ever so slightly. Alright, well, we are rocketing into space. Just a moment here. So we are sassing. Our sassy control system seems to be functioning nicely, which is good. We are still rocketing. But we are rocketing very slowly. Like, our acceleration is not very much. And our altitude is not very high. But we are getting there. We are accelerating faster and faster. Especially the more the atmosphere is less of a problem. Alright. Okay. Now, this is the other thing I don't know about. I know that we had... I know there are options to give a calculated burn on your apoapsis to be able to reach orbit, but I don't remember how to do that. However, we have run out of fuel, so it's not relevant right now. So I will go ahead and launch that thingy. Okay. Now that's the other thing I was wondering about, is that poor Jeb here has been on multiple flights, and he has been up in space, near orbit, multiple times. But the poor little bastard doesn't get any experience. Like, he's getting 0 experience for every flight. So I don't know for sure how that's even a thing. Like, I don't know how he gets more experience if flying isn't the answer to that. That might be a question for a later time. Alright, so we are up here. So we are at 805,000. That's actually, I think, higher than I've ever been, so I'm going to do some science up here. I've got my science locked away in my trunk. I will observe Le Mystery Goo. And I will take some readings. Hooray! Close the trunk. And we have science locked away. Ugh, really? Okay. So you really have to eyeball orbiting and eyeball landing on the moon before he gets enough experience to do anything useful? That seems kind of weird. Alright, so we are coming back down. And fast track back down to Earth. Or Kerbal, or whatever. Alright, so we are quite a ways from home, which is nice. We are heating up ever so slightly. Okay. But that does mean I need to orbit first, so that's a challenge. And so we are appropriate speed. Yeah, I do need to do that orbit, and I'm sure that that's an important milestone. I just don't know how to do that yet. I may have actually been able to do it in a previous run if I had used SAS. But in the run that I was probably the closest to orbit... You're never going to escape. In the route that I was closest to orbit, my attitude was all over the damn place, and I lost complete control, and most of my fuel was wasted in trying to go straight. So that was probably my bad. But now that I know SAS, that will be helpful. And you know, oddly enough, the buddy that has been roping me into playing this game really wanted to be there for my first run, and he's not here tonight. He was the one that was supposed to help me with all this stuff, so I am very happy that you and a couple others have stopped by to give me tips, because otherwise I would have failed miserably. But we're good, we're back, we're recovering. Poor Jeb probably does not get any experience yet. I'm sure, and I will be looking up all the shortcuts and stuff later. I just found it kind of odd that it wasn't in the menu when I looked for it. So that was a little bit strange to me. So we recovered a lot of science for gathering that data up in height. Or up in altitude, so that's good. I will definitely be looking into that, because I could use all the help I can get. Alright, no XP gain, because he did not do anything useful, apparently. So that's fine. That's fine. Alright, so I now have more research and development to work with. So flight control sounds like it might be a good thing. So this gives me reaction wheels, deluxe winglets. Okay, so the reaction wheel gives you torque-related stability control, so that's good. More science sounds like a good idea, too. I am sure pushing random buttons was a very useful learning experience. So, in my mind, researching more science first would be a good thing, because I can continue on with my existing rocket plans and accomplish more science for more research. But I also feel like I should make more progress in going better. So I'm torn. Like, I could do more rocketing. I don't feel like I need this just yet. I mean, better decouplers. There's the Rocco Max brand decoupler that I could actually complete a quest with. I could do some aviation, because I have an assload of flight-related missions that I should be doing. But I feel like science is going to get me the other things effectively. And I am more than happy to send Jeb up into space a dozen times to do more science. Holds 2 quadruple A batteries. That sounds like an advancement in science, to be able to hold a small quantity of really tiny batteries. Absolute advancement in science. Just spectacular. It carries no crew at all, thus keeping them perfectly safe from harm. Okay. So these are radiator panels that I don't think I need all that much yet. I think that's more useful for when you're in space for longer periods. High gain antenna. And that's for communications, which I don't think I need too much yet. So the Science Junior is probably the one that's going to get me the most science results. But, you know, more rockets seems good. I don't know. So this is a rocket holder, but it doesn't really tell me what it accomplishes. Like, I don't think it actually tells me that, for example, a rocket on the launch pad can be heavier than the current 20-ton limit. Nor does it tell me that I can have a rocket with more parts on it than the current 30-part limit. So, is it useful? I don't know. So this is the crew cabin. Structural supports. Purely structural fuselage. Better decoupler. So this is the bigger decoupler. So this is the one that helps with the larger fuselage components. And this is an adapter for big to small components. Got it. Okay, got it. And this is, I believe, a large rocket. But I don't think this even tells me that it's a large component rocket. Interesting. And you... look like you would be best as a radial? Fascinating. And you're just a really big fuel tank. Okay. I'm going to science. Probably not the best idea, but I'm going to science. Because why not? I do need a little bit more research to get a second one of these. So let's do some science, shall we? Actually, before we do that, let's check to see if there are any useful missions for me. Missions! Okay, so these are all about going to specific locations on Kerbal, which I still don't think I have the means to. Yeah, so all of these missions are all the same that I don't really have the means to do. So we were fairly close to orbit with this current build. Huh. So this is interesting. It is a Staputnik. Hey Arxelis, how you doing? So this gives me a science experiment of crew report, so this does not give me a science experiment. It is exactly a Staputnik. It wants us to stay put. It is sending the giant ball into space so your astronauts don't have to. Let's see, engines. So the Flea, the Hammer, 2 different rockets. This one with a heck of a lot more thrust on it. So maybe this rocket should be replaced with this rocket. And maybe that's enough. Maybe. Huzzah! Okay, so we're at 15. We're at 15 tons right now. I've got wings aplenty. I've got my heat shield on. I got batteries. So this is a deployable antenna. So, science! Science! Alright, so this is an experiment storage unit. What do you do, experiment storage unit? Do you just go inside of things? Okay, so you go there. You just sit there. You just sit there. Like, what? There's no more info to be had. So how do I put science inside of said experiment storage unit? Like, what did this accomplish for me? Oh, I'm gonna have to do a lot more research on this game. Alright. So, I can observe the materials bay. Okay. Cutting edge, self-contained laboratory. Have you ever wondered what happens with something what happens to something in 0G? Or have you ever pondered the truly meaningful questions, such as what would happen if I expose this to the rigors of stellar radiation with an unforgiving vacuum? Comes with complimentary notepad. Recommended for ages 4 to 8. Small parts inside may not be suitable for children. You know, it is obvious, but I don't know how to make that happen. So I'm going to put that there. Can I put this inside? No, I can put it on top of. I can't right-click it to open it or anything. Sure. Okay. So, Science Junior. Let's put Science Junior out. Decoupler. Heat shield. Science Junior. Open doors. Ooh, it's all sciencey in there. Alright. So close the doors. So can I put science in there? Because currently, this service bay is literally my science trunk. I have been putting my science inside of said trunk. So can I put other science in here instead? Like, can I just do that? And will it work? It doesn't appear to. Because if I put that, like, there, and I close the doors, it's on the outside. So I still need my science trunk. Okay, good to know. Science trunk. So if I put that, that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good at all. I can't put anything inside of it. So what the hell is its purpose? I'm going to have to Google that. I have to Google that. Hold on. Experiment storage unit. What do you do for me, experiment storage unit? Interesting. Oh, I get it. Okay. So, this is a spot, so once I do the experiment with the thermometer to gather the temperatures, I can tell it to store that data in the storage unit, and then I can build like a little remote retrievable craft that this experimental storage unit can go back to home without me having to go back to home. So that is an interesting thing that I don't know how to do. So I'm going to put U heat shield on the bottom there. And then rocket. Put back together rocket. Okay. Is this thing gonna function? I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, so we are launching at night, which is fine. I'm going to turn on our sassy control unit. Going to double check. No, okay. So this decoupler, we need this rocket to go up here. So we've got rocket, decoupler, we've got rocket, decoupler, and then parachute. Okay, that was almost hazardous. Alright, throttle up. Sassy control unit is in place, and we are going. Go! Rocket, do the up thing! Okay, 7 to 10 kilometers. Start tilting towards the water slowly. Okay. So can you cut the thrust while you are in the map mode? Because some of my controls stopped functioning when I was in the map mode, which seemed kind of strange to me. But yeah, so let's go ahead and start tilting a little bit. I am sure, 100%, that it is harder than it sounds. Okay, so this is our map. We are going, we are tilting more, we are sassing a little bit. See, sassing wants to go straight, so you have to unsass to be able to tilt. X is to cut thrust, okay. So we are just about ready to launch our rocket away and thrust again. Alright, Sassy, do your thing. Map. We are getting there. Absolutely getting there. But we are almost out of fuel. And we are out of fuel. Okay. So where do we make it? We made it to not very far at all, actually. Okay. That's fine. So we're getting there. We're absolutely getting there. It wouldn't let me retain the angle I was trying for. It kept trying to straighten itself back up again. So maybe that was a challenge on my part. I don't know. Alright, let me reread the thingy. Okay. Got it, I think. Yeah, so the trick is the thing I wasn't doing, and that would be actually cutting your thrust, and then waiting until you get to the apoaxis to re-thrust to force yourself further out that direction. I get it in theory. In practice, however, I am sure I will fail miserably at that. So let's see what options we have here. Open doors. Observe the materials bay. Recover 25 science. Close doors, I guess. Sure. Let's re-goo. You are not giving me all that much science. So what I will do is I will wait on the goo until I am closer to my destination, because that will be an entirely new location. Let's reset that. Log Data is 0, so definitely wait. Yes. Now, do you actually have to get back to base? I mean, it seems like you can just recover yourself from wherever on the planet. But yeah. Alright, so SAS. You can be roughly heat shielding towards the Earth. Directionally challenged, yes. I am not orbital. I made it like a decent chunk of orbital, but I did it wrong. I think I can still accomplish it with the rocket that I've got. I just need to actually do it right. And doing it right is definitely a challenge for me. So let's speed up a little bit, get closer to... Let's see if I can get decent science out of where I'm at here. Definitely lower than my previous science acquisition, but maybe it's enough to get something good. Not really. 3.5 science is not really that great. Yep, so I will wait until I'm more at the other location and see how that goes. So let us zoom out, speed up. It's pretty though. It's pretty. Ah, wrong button. Okay, slow down. Slow yourself down, buddy. Alright. Re-aim heat shield at the ground. Oh, poor Jeb. Heat shield didn't cut it. Heat shield didn't cut it. Oh, poor Jeb. Poor Jeb. Okay. So let's revert back to launch. I know. That gets me a little bit too. Just because for me, and you know, for me specifically, it's a little bit worse because my monitor is a 40-inch. That's only about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet from my face. So my field of vision is almost entirely taken up by this thing. So for me, when I look down at that planet, that's pretty close to all I see, and that's really all up in my face. Yes. In fact, the only thing I've said in here is permitting you. So all I have to do is hit up and permit you again. What else do we got? So thrust on that was at 80. Okay. Yeah, Kerbal boomed. Kerbal boomed hard. So if I go to, I can't even map before I'm launched. Okay, so let's sass it up. Let's launch, and we'll do this slowly. Why does this keep happening? Oh, because I changed it out. Okay, got it. I'm dumb. Alright, so I need to do that again. Another stage. You go up here. Alright, so let's review, shall we? Let's bring this tab over here. Alright, so we've got a nice little Munlander. I believe you've got the bigger rocket that I haven't researched yet. Okay, so this is your orbital ship. What are these things? The little balls there. Are those science nodule thingies? I know these are the RCS. These are your Moonlander struts. So here's the... This looks like you've got more built onto your launch pad, because mine wouldn't let me put this much crap on mine. Like I had a very limited limit of what I could put on it. I had a 30-part limit. So these are probably the tanks for the RCS. Got it. Okay. Holy balls. What did you do? What did you do? Oh, dear Lord. So this is well beyond my limit. So I'm definitely going to have to build up to that. I just don't know what I need to build up to that. Like, is that a research thing? Is that just over time in the campaign thing? Like, does my launch pad just build up over time? Or is that something I have to research? I don't know. Let's do another thing. Throttle. Throttle and then do a thing. Got it. Yes, fins. Fins are useful. Okay, so we're SAS flying. Okay, I'll have to look into that to see, because I think I might have just missed the possibility of doing that. So I'm going to start tilting now, see if we can get a little bit more orbit preparation in place. Let's look at the map. On the other side of the map, there we go. So the Apo's at 12 and climbing. So once it gets to 80, I cut my thrust. I don't think I can cut my thrust with the... Oh, I've got the liquid. Okay. I thought I was on a solid. I can cut on liquid, no problem. Okay, so my Apo is still going. I think I'm actually going to run out of that liquid fuel before I get there. We are at 80, so we cut. And then we've got the Apo coming. And then we tilt so that we are more or less parallel-ish. Alrighty, thanks for sticking with me as long as you possibly could. I do appreciate that. Alright, so we are getting closer to the Apo. That's good. Horizontal-ish, yes. Because we are still going to have that vertical momentum, and the horizontal-ish will help us to go up and this direction. Horizontal-ish. So we are close to the Apo. Now, do I start when I get to the Apo, or kind of sort of near it? I'm sure either way kind of sort of works, but... So we are horizontaling. Don't want to horizontal too much, because it's still trying to rotate continuously. Alright, so we are just about at the Apo axis there. Kind of, sort of before it. Okay. Well, this is kind of, sort of before it. So we're going. We are going, and we are extending our... Oops. Okay. We ran out, and we are going again! Half before and half after. Okay, well, we're definitely extending our range here. So if I cut... Nope, so if I cut, that's just going to stop our progress. And that's as much thrust as I've got. So it was definitely progress. But I'm out of thrust. So let's cut Cut that and run. Okay. Yeah, maneuver nodes. That's what I was remembering. I was remembering that there was ways to plan for that progress that would help work things out, but I wasn't there yet, apparently. So now to not fail like I did before, and I think part of it is this extra component. Because the heat shield failed and this whole thing burnt up. So I don't know if that was just not my heat shield not being appropriately aligned, or if this extra piece is just enough to screw everything up. Alright, so let's grab that science. Let's see if I can grab any useful science from here. Not really, but I'll keep it anyway. And that's actually quite a bit, so I will keep that. And you are quite a bit. So now I really have some pressure to make it back alive. So now the question is, how do I angle this so that it works? I don't think I ever left atmosphere though, so heat might not be a big of a problem. Yeah, very possible I started the burn too late. Because I was kind of thinking I would start at the apoapsis rather than starting earlier. So that was probably my bad. Understandable. Still definitely some practice. Yes, we will see. So let's speed up just a hair. Because we have quite a ways to go in our travels. Aha! So that is the direction. As we fireball our way through space. There we go. Heat shield is still not quite cutting it. Just reaching explosion rate. There goes the heat shield. That's not good. Trying to fight it. Trying to fight it. I can't fight it. I can't fight it. Sass, quit it. There's probably quite a ways before I reach orbit. I might not hit it tonight because it's actually almost 1 AM. I probably should be getting to sleep. I'm also addicted, apparently. So, in fact, this is going to be my last one. It looks like I'm making it back alive, so that's good. I don't know for sure though if I got to keep my science because I lost my module. So we'll see how well that worked. However, I can't rotate. Kaboom! Game crash. Done. All done. Game crash. Alright, well, here's Vader, our portent of doom. And that was lovely timing. So, I'm gonna call it there, because it's almost midnight, or it's almost 1. I need sleep. I actually work tomorrow morning. So, thank you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for following. Thank you for helping me out in this grand learning process. Here's hoping my next flight will suck less. So good night. See you. Bye, bye, bye.